So let's go find a new project to put in the air. We'll go in the junk room. We got the helper cat being lazy. How you doing, lazy kitty? And see amongst the junk what we can make fly again. And I think it's gonna be this thing right here. This right here hasn't flown in a year or so. So let's take this down and take it out and see what we got, see what we're working with. This old plane. This thing's been hanging on the wall for a few years now. This is one of the first planes I modified. When I started building these things and I had a little bit more money, I tried flight tests. And this is a flight test. Airplane, I can't remember what it was called. I'll put it up there. And when I got done with it, I'll show you what it looked like because it looked a lot better. But I flew this, didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't use their motors. I didn't use these either. I used big drone motors with 10-inch props on it, but the problem was they were really low kV and it really didn't have much power. So you can see it got a little bit of damage here and the whole nose got broken off. And what I did is I rebuilt the nose here using black dollar store foam board. And I put heavy duty landing gear on it. And I put small drone motors, but I added another motor. So it's a 4-motor airplane instead of the 2 that it was made as. And I built this thing, and I think I flew it once, and it flew all right. And I brought it home and added a bunch of other junk to it, and it made it really heavy, and I didn't really want to fly it again. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to put it all back together, because I've been looking for projects to do, and this thing's been sitting around for a while, and I thought, well, let's see if we get it back in the air. And if it flies terrible, I can just use the motors for something else and take it apart. So I'm trying to do a little spring cleaning around here. So let's go through and show you what we got. This plane seems to want to go together. I really didn't have any problems. There's a flight controller. It's Velcroed in there. It's a Radio Link BIME A. And that was only like $15. This is for the FPV camera. Now I put this camera here. This is an old Caddx Taser, I guess. I don't know how you say it. Taser camera. This thing was expensive, and everybody thought it was going to be really good, and it turned out that it records, but it doesn't record great. It's got 2 lenses, one for FPV and one for recording. But tomorrow when we put this thing in the air, we'll get some footage on the plane. So if it crashes, we'll get some good crash footage. I was going to change out the propellers here, and then I remembered these motors were from a specific little drone that had these propellers, so I got to keep these same propellers on here. I'm quite sure I flew this before, and it flew all right, and then I put a bunch of stuff on it and made it really heavy, and I kind of didn't want to fly it again, and I had another project, and I took the flight control out of it and never flew it again. But everything works, and it went together real easy. Let me see if I can turn it over here. I've got ELRS for the protocol for this. And underneath we have the receiver here I'm going to put some tape over that. I only paid, it was only like $12 from China for a 2.4 gig ELRS receiver. And there's the FPV. I don't even remember what kind of transmitter that is. I'll find out when I fly it tomorrow. One cool thing about ELRS now is that outputs to S-Bus. And that's what that radio link flight controller needs, is S-Bus. Got 2 flight modes for FPV. We've got the gyro and then manual. And I'm just using my transmitter here. Jumper T12, old transmitter with a ELRS module on the back. So we got really good range, FPV, 4 motors. We're using a 2200 3S battery for the flight tomorrow. And we'll see what happens. All right, we're out here with the old beat up FT Cruiser here that I rebuilt once already and crashed. And we're gonna get it up in the air and see what happens today. We got several geese on the track, so we're going to try to avoid them. And we're just going to put it up and see what it does. It hasn't been flown in a while, and just make sure it don't crash. Alright, let's go. Alright, we got all 4 motors turning and off we go. I don't know why I try to taxi these planes. See how squirrely the front wheel is? I gotta fix that. But I pull up and off we go. Simple as that. Putting the motors on the wings like this seems to make them short takeoff and landing planes and easier to control at slow speeds, which is really nice when you're flying FPV. This thing seemed to be really steady. I hate to say like it's on rails, but it was real steady. It's got a big wing, so I guess that's what does it. There's a little rudder, and I was surprised at how quick of a turn it'll do. I'll do it here again. Didn't think it was all that fast, but I'm only running a 3S. I got a 4S in for the next flight. See how quick that turn was? That just surprised me. This plane just looks huge. Well, not huge, but big. But that was just the little rudder turns. It didn't seem as fast, but like I said, I was only doing 3S. But when we get closer to the ground, I'll fly it fast a little bit. See, there's a geese getting out of the way. There's geese on the track that do not get out of the way for this plane. This plane does not bother them, and you'll see them here. Now I go low, and I got an idea right here. These geese right here don't seem to be bothered by the plane. And race around the track. And I thought I have some small planes, Ultrixes that I want to take around the track, and I got about 3 or 4 of them. I figured that'd be a fun thing to do. That wouldn't bother the FFA or Karen or anybody. And I got that pretty fast, and it seems really controllable. This thing is heavy. I got visions of going around the track too fast and hitting the corner, and just like the momentum spinning me out. Here we go. Let's watch these geese. They don't care. This plane does not bother them. Here we go around the track. That's pretty fast. I want to try it on the 4S. But I'm a little surprised. I don't remember it flying this good. I think I'm going to bring it in. I know I didn't fly it for long. I just wanted to see if it flew well. I guess one more time around. Sorry for the sun. It was early morning. And there was no wind. That's another reason I can make it around the track so well. But this flies good. We'll be flying it again. Watch the geese. Oh. They don't care. So here we go. We're going to bring it in. Decent landing. That's going to about do it for this one this time. We're going to fly this again. I'm going to fly it again tomorrow if it doesn't rain. Thanks for watching.